everybody doing? My name is Gio Perez, and welcome to Llama Talk. I'm here with McArio del Castillo. Not only is he a student of liberal studies for special ed, but he's also the president of the boxing club in CSUN. He's the supervisor for the boxing rec center there too. So welcome, McArio. Man, I'm so glad you're here, man.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here as well. It's a great opportunity for me.
Good. So tell me about yourself, man. How did you start boxing? Because you've been doing it for a little bit now. For a while.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
About 3 years now competitively for boxing. But when I started, I actually was doing mixed martial arts. And, I learned about mixed martial arts watching TV, hanging out with my friends in high school, and what really intrigued me was Bruce Lee, and I learned about Bruce Lee's philosophy during high school. Okay. And I really, what intrigued me most was his philosophy on adapting different martial arts together.
And that was the Tao of Jeet Kune Do, right?
Jeet
Yeah, I
Kune Do.
read that book too. It's an awesome book. It tells you a lot of, he goes into a lot of details when it comes to fighting, right? Mm-hmm. What else? One thing I wanted to ask you was about boxing for fitness, mm-hmm. and also boxing for fighting. And I know the difference because I've been practicing martial arts for a while. I know the difference in smells. When you go to a fighter's gym, it's a different smell versus the other ones where you get people in there that just want to sweat, right?
Exactly.
So tell us the difference. What is the difference?
So I would liken fitness boxing to a simulation. Where people can simulate what a boxer would go through when they're getting ready for a fight. They go in with a mentality to lose weight or an alternative workout or finding an alternative workout they can do. Let's say they don't necessarily like running or swimming, but they like boxing and they want to try boxing out. And it gives them an opportunity to learn boxing. But for a real boxing gym that teaches boxing for fighting, I would say that there's like I said, there's a different mentality as well for that one, where you go in and you're going into that sport specifically to compete in boxing.
That's a total mm-hmm. different mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know even the mid-work and the bags, mm-hmm. it's used totally different when mm-hmm. it comes to fitness mm-hmm. and real boxing. In boxing, there has to be certain techniques that you have to be using for, and each bag is used for a certain thing. Yeah. But for fitness, no, they just want to hit it. They just want to be sweating. And one thing I've noticed is that sometimes they don't have the proper techniques that they actually might even hurt themselves because they're not doing it right.
Yeah, a lot of fitness programs don't really employ the same technique that a boxing gym that's catered towards fighting would teach. Where in a fitness program, they're really just trying to get your heart rate up, get you sweating, and get you on the go. But
it does work. You do lose weight. You do get fit.
I wouldn't paint a bad picture on fitness boxing. No. That rather it gives people an opportunity to be involved in it, and it gives them another workout, an alternative workout.
Right. Mm-hmm. What would you say? Would you say that boxing for fitness be a way of self-defense in a way? Or?
I wouldn't liken it to self-defense, mainly because they don't. Like I said, a lot of fitness programs don't apply the technical aspects of an actual boxing program. Mm-hmm. Where in boxing, they cater to what would happen in a ring and what situations you would have to go through when you're fighting opponents. But in a fitness program, it's really just to get your heart rate up.
Right, but in real boxing, mm-hmm. then the objective is to be able to take down your man, your opponent.
Exactly.
So even though it's so simple, and I know that I practice martial arts, I practice different things, but boxing, in a way, it only has a few moves. Mm-hmm. But these moves are so, they're able to be used for so many different ways that you have to master boxing. Mm-hmm. What would you tell them? What's your favorite punching in boxing for yourself?
For me, per se, in boxing, technique-wise, I enjoy watching technical infighting, where infighting was where you're seeing two guys not necessarily brawl it out on the inside, but use strategy to set up punches and work on the inside, where they're literally standing toe to toe with each other. And I find that to be the most exciting part of boxing because two people can be standing merely inches from each other and missing and throwing punches.
Because the timing is so fast.
Yeah.
Right. You have a millisecond to be able to get away and to be able to punch.
Exactly.
So you're working on microseconds.
Yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
We're fine tuning your technique to the very small, like the very microsecond of
right.
it.
I know sparring is a big deal. I mean, do you do sparring weekly or do you do it every? Or how do you do it?
When I get closer to a fight, I try to taper my sparring up because sparring is the closest training you would get to a fight situation. Because in sparring, you want to liken the situation to an actual fight scenario, and you're learning your mistakes, you're learning your techniques in the lifelike situation. So I try to get as many sparring sessions as I can during the week, up to 3, if not every 3 minimum, if not every day. But when I'm further out or closer to a fight, less.
But the mentality is a little bit different too when you're sparring. I know some fighters, when I'm sparring or when some of the other champions are sparring, some of them might take sparring that they might want to receive a bunch of punches because they're conditioning their body. And then there's some other ones where you go in, the mindset is to be able to get away and practice your jabs or whatever it is. But you don't get the real feel of how the fighter actually fights until you're actually fighting them in the ring.
Exactly.
So that's the great key there. Now tell me, who's your favorite all-time boxer that you follow or that you enjoy watching?
Currently, the boxer that I follow right now is Miguel Cotto, and I'm a big fan of his because the way he boxes, he's methodical and he's a great pressure fighter. The way he works, he just puts work on his opponent, and he goes to the body, he goes to the head, and he changes angles, changes directions, and it's an exciting person to watch.
Yeah, Puerto Rican, right?
Yeah, he's Puerto Rican.
Puertorriqueño.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I seen him fight. He wants you to come to you.
Yeah, he wants you to fight.
He's in a natural. It almost seems like a natural offensive fighter. There's a difference. I know that you probably noticed that some fighters are waiting for you to attack, and then they're really good to slip and be able to counterattack. And then there's some other guys that just want to knock your head off, and they're natural hitters too. It's like sometimes, like, I remember this one guy that not a great fighter at all, but if he would get you with a certain hook, it's like you would feel like a car hit you. I don't know if you ever noticed some fighters have like this natural...
There's that natural power.
Natural power. Have you ever had to encounter anybody like that?
I've actually met one guy that I fought before, and he was imposing. Like, he just one punch, you could feel it. It was scary.
Right.
Like a lot of fighters try to paint that picture of them being fearless, but it's not necessarily being fearless, but the ability to face your fear.
Right. Well, mine would be my favorite fighter would be Muhammad Ali and also Joe Frazier.
Okay.
Even though Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier were almost like against each other, but Joe Frazier, because he had a weird sort of style.
He did have a weird style.
But I think he took down Muhammad Ali for a bunch of times, 2 or 3 times. But Muhammad Ali, not only did he box, but he was also out there doing things during that time, during the social...
he was a humanitarian.
Yeah, so he was doing a lot of great things. But anyway, that's one of the reasons I like those boxers. But you know what? Why don't you tell the audience, especially the guys that are watching right now, that are not only MMA fighters, boxers, or they're doing any type of competitive sports, how do you prepare yourself? Because I know you're having a fight in October. So tell them, how do you prepare yourself? Oh, how long of a period do you prepare yourself to be able to get ready, and what do you do?
Depending on how far out my fight is, I like to set my diet first because nutrition is key to everything. And then from there, I taper my workout up and then taper it down, getting ready towards a fight, getting as much sparring as I can, and going into the gym every day, excluding Sundays, and getting that day of rest. But when I'm getting prepared, I like to work on my technique, and I like to really fine tune what I'm gonna do, because you as a boxer kind of have to go in with your own strengths, and you have to work with what strengths you have, and you just But
physical aspects. I mean, what I'm talking about also What do you do? Do you have a certain routine that you go in the gym and do? Do you do like bags, 2 days a week, or what do you do? I mean, like,
let's say my regular weekly schedule. I get up in the morning, get at least 3 miles in, and then midday I'll go in and hit some bags. Depending if it's a boxing day or a strength and conditioning day, I like to set up my week depending on what I'm going to be doing for the week. Mondays and Fridays, let's say strength and conditioning, and then midweek would be just strictly boxing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, right here, where we practice martial arts in this gym. Tuesdays we practice upper body, and then so they could rest, and then Thursdays we do lower body.
Yeah, exactly.
And so they go on the weekends and then back again. So we're practicing techniques all the time here at Lama. One more thing. So tell us where people can find you. Who's sponsoring you? Do you want sponsors? Oh, by the way, he's single too, ladies. So if you want to contact him for that too, he's. But anyway, you don't get with girls in the next 2 months. No girls.
Technically, they say that, like, they say
you're supposed to be stronger, right? It's like you're like So hey, after when's your fight?
It's gonna be October 17th, and
so after October 17th, you can give him that calls.
Yeah. Oh, you can call beforehand, and we can meet up afterwards.
So Macario, where can people reach you, man?
Oh, people can they can find me on my Facebook page, which is Team Mickey Boxing. And they can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is also Team Mickey Boxing, or my Instagram, which is Mick_E, and also at CSUN, because I go to CSUN, and I'm also an avid member of the boxing club. So
good, and you have a current sponsor right now,
mm-hmm.
And
my current sponsor is the Experience Inc., a local tattoo shop in the San Fernando Valley. They help me with these shorts, and they also do a lot of my artwork.
Awesome. Okay. And another thing, you can reach us at lamartialart at gmail.com. We have classes here too, guys. We teach martial arts here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for children and adults. And another thing, for this show, we had a sponsor for training for boxing training gloves. So we'll have a link below, so you guys could check that out, purchase some, support our show. And if you would like to sponsor our show also, you could contact us at lamartialart@gmail.com. You could also find us at facebook.com/lamartialart. Okay? Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
It was a great
opportunity. And thank you for everything, guys. See you soon.